Welcome to Reggie's World. Reggie's World podcast is one of the hottest things going, and I want to thank all of my cousins, not just in the city of Detroit, which is the greatest city in the world, my hometown, but all over the place. My second home, Los Angeles, California. Everybody in Inglewood, especially. I worked at KJLH Radio, owned and operated by Detroit legend legendary artist Steve Len Morrison, Stevie Wonder, as you know him. Also, I worked in Tampa, Florida. All my peeps down in Tampa at 95.7 The Beat, Tampa Bay's number one hip hop for hip hop and R&B. Those guys down there. Let's see. I was also in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, 97.1 WQMG. Shalyn Cole, the sister who runs that station there. R&B station and other places. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, did some stuff, stopped through Atlanta, and all the places. Everybody that knows that name Reggie Reg, your cousin Reggie Reg. How you doing? This is my podcast, Reggie's World. Welcome to Reggie's World. And today we're going to talk to a very special songstress R&B singer from my great city, Detroit, because everybody knows we're Motown, and a lot of great singers and songstress come out of this great city called Detroit. Now, you got your Anita Baker, you got your Kim, you got a little on the rap side, Eminem, Big Sean. We got a ton of folk that are from the great city of Detroit, and they're into the entertainment, singing, and rapping. But this young lady right here, I'm going to tell you, I've been knowing her for a long time. I think back in the day when I was a teen reporter, I ran into this young lady, and she's always been very, very talented, multi-level of talent. When we play her music later, when you hear it, you're going to be like, wait a minute, that's a humongous hit. I love that. So you're just going to fall in love with the music. I tell you what, I don't want to hesitate because y'all tired. I've been talking on the radio for 36 years and I ain't got to keep talking. I've talked long enough for everybody. So how about we introduce our guest for today. And here she is, the lovely, and y'all please put your hands together for R&B songstress straight out of Detroit, Michigan, y'all, Sister Beth Griffith-Manley. Hey. How you doing, Beth?
Hey, how are you? And you know what, Reggie? Just say Beth, because my name is a tongue twister. So just Beth. You don't got to get all on the mic trying to do all them THs and all that stuff.
Right. And you know I got to mess with you. Your name, I knew you as Beth for all my life. And so it's Beth Griffith. I knew you as right. Your father's the surname. And then you put that you got to remember that dash Manley, and I got to be careful because when I started to say, back in the day, I tried to holler. I mean, you was like my sister, god sister, everything, but at one point I was like, trying to holler way back in the day. I got to your husband. Hey man, let me tell you something, brother. You got a great woman, as you already know. That's why y'all been married so long. She takes care of her business. She's a family person, you know that, and you got you a good one, brother. Lucky you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been knowing you a long time, and yeah, I was liking you back in the day. Yeah, so yeah.
Tell that story too. I'm gonna mess with you later.
Such a long time.
Long time. Yeah, and I'm so proud of you. When I saw you on NBC's The Voice, this was what year was this? A couple years ago.
2019. Time just flies. Like I can't believe it was 2019, but yeah, it was 2019. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So that was before the corona. Wow.
Right. That was like right before. It was right before, and we had no idea. It was, you remember back in the day, you used to hear older people say, oh, that's when life was simple then, or that's when things were different. And now we actually can say that in our lifetime. 2019 was back when things were different, things were normal, and we had no idea that right around the corner, everybody's life was just gonna flip upside down.
Right. And I tell you what, we want to get all the way into your story, Sister Beth, because you have an incredible story to tell us. But before we get started, something that I always need to do, I need to tell people about who we are, what you're listening to, what this actually is, Grown Folks Radio. This is ReggieRegRadio.com. That's where a lot of people listen to us right now. You guys can go to the website at ReggieRegRadio.com and go into the podcast page, and you can actually, on demand, anytime you want to, pull down this interview with myself and Sister Beth whenever you want to hear her music or find out how you can get in touch with her and hear her story. But first, before we get into her story, here's something I need y'all to hear. So listen up. The views and opinions of Reggie's World podcast are absolutely positively those of Grown Folks Radio Network, the parent company, the Express Yourself Network. And due to the fact that we are broadcasting via internet radio and not the antiquated terrestrial radio broadcasting method, I can say what the hell I want to say without a program director who really does not care what the hell I say. But due to the fact that he works for a gigantic corporate radio group that really doesn't give a damn about the concerns that need to be addressed in my community, but they are instead standing on pins and needles with the FCC. So he tells me to refrain from being me by having a very strong opinion about any and every damn thing I wish to have a strong opinion about, followed by a threat to reprimand me if I continue to be my individual human self by standing up for my absolute constitutional right to express myself through freedom of speech, which is a strong part of this nation's law of the land, instead of just simply allowing a brother to express himself. Well, for clarification, I am here on Reggie's World to speak as freely and as genuinely as I fucking please. Because as the title says, this is my world. So if you have a problem with me expressing my viewpoint on life's issues, then here's my recommendation for you, dear cousin. Turn me off. Turn me the hell off. And that there concludes this disclaimer. I'm just saying. So just for a better understanding, so now you understand, Beth, what this is all about, right?
If I didn't know, now I do.
Right. So let's get into your story, because Detroit, the incredible city that we are, and I'm not just saying that. I just mentioned I lived and worked in other cities like L.A., Greensboro, North Carolina, Tampa, Florida, Toledo, Ohio. Spent time in Baltimore and other places. And so I know people. Wherever you go, it's all about the people. There's no place like Detroit. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from Detroit. That's a matter of fact. On any level you look at, there's no place like Detroit. And Detroiters represent, we go deep. Everywhere we go, we deep. All over the world. Anywhere you go in the world, somebody from Detroit going to be there. For real, trust me.
They're going to say, what up, though?
Exactly. What up, though? What up, though? And that's the connection piece. Yep. You got it. You got it, Beth. You know. So Detroit being this beautiful city, I'll call us we are the Mecca of Black America. We are the Mecca. Chicago is the second to us, if you might say, the Mecca and the Medina. But so that being the case, when a lot of people hear the name Detroit, if they're not thinking about cars or automobiles, the next thing that they're going to think about is Motown and Berry Gordy and your father, the late father, Johnny Griffith. Johnny Griffith. And he was a jazz artist with Motown. Am I right?
That is correct. He was one of the first artists that Motown signed as a jazz artist, actually. And then he ended up transitioning into playing on the Motown hits. But he was originally a classically trained pianist, and then he had a love for jazz, and then he started playing jazz, and then Motown. So yeah.
Right. And real quick, what was your dad's connection with the Funk Brothers? Because everybody knows the Funk Brothers. Didn't he do some stuff with the Funk Brothers?
Yeah, he was a Funk brother.
Oh, he was. So dad was a Funk brother. He was actually.
Yeah. So what happened was the Funk Brothers started out, and I don't exactly know the year, but the Funk Brothers started out, and then Earl Van Dyke was on the keys and the piano. There were a couple keyboard players and piano players, but Earl Van Dyke was one of the original ones that was there. And he got sick, and my father was brought in, and his nickname was the hired gun. So he was brought in to kind of play around and with Earl Van Dyke. A lot of times they had multiple musicians on the same instrument, so they would have two drummers, two keyboard players, two guitar players for padding of the music and to just give it a fuller sound. Those that are listening and watching now that are not familiar with the Funk Brothers, there is a movie that came out called Standing in the Shadows of Motown, and it's about the Funk Brothers and some of the trials and tribulations, and then some of the victories and wins that they had during that Motown era. So you can watch that movie on YouTube. You could probably stream it on Tubi and on demand. But it's called Standing in the Shadows of Motown. My dad is in the movie, and it just talks about the Funk Brothers and what they did and the contribution that they had to American music and history and shaping Black music and American music, white music. Everything is influenced through this Motown music. It's just amazing.
Wow, and so being a part of the Funk Brothers, and I'm learning, so I'm glad I know that. I knew he had something to do with them, but he was actually a part of the Funk Brothers, and we
Yeah.
know how. Yeah, a lot of us that know music know how powerful, how big the Funk Brothers were. They're very influential group of folk, and with Berry Gordy. So then now I want to ask you, what was your father Johnny's relationship with Berry Gordy, and did your father ever introduce you to Berry Gordy?
I don't know his relationship with Berry Gordy, although I know Berry Gordy and my dad knew each other because my father was hired to play on hundreds of hits, and it's too many to name. You know, the history of Motown and how they recorded music. They would record music multiple times, and then they would listen to each version and decide what they wanted to select, or which one they wanted the artist to actually sing to. I don't even really know how many years my father was with Motown, but I do maintain my relationship with the Motown family, those that are still here with us, you know, because they're getting up in age. I have had the privilege of meeting Berry Gordy several times, actually. There's an organization out of Los Angeles called the Hal Awards, which is an acronym for the Heroes and Legends Awards. It's a scholarship foundation started by the alumni of Motown, like the first five people. They call it the first five, and the first five are the first five that worked at Motown. So it was Berry Gordy, it was Janie Bradford, Smokey Robinson. Some of them were like the first ones that ever worked there and started working there. They have a scholarship foundation. Berry Gordy comes every year. Because of my association with the Motown family, you know, even my father's deceased, they still keep in touch with me, love on me. They're there to support. I go every year and perform at this event, which is at the Beverly Hills Hotel, star-studded, red carpet, black tie. It's amazing.
Wow.
And Berry Gordy's there, Smokey Robinson is there, my auntie Claudette Robinson is there. You know, these are my aunts and uncles now. I've been able to be with Berry Gordy several times. His niece, Robin Terry, is the CEO of the Motown Museum that's here in Detroit.
Right.
So she and I talk very often, and so there is an affiliation with the Gordy family with me, and with Motown. So I'm grateful for that, the legacy that my father has left. I'm grateful that the ones that are still here have taken me under their wing to mentor me and to nurture me. It's just a phone call away for any questions that I may have, business wise, advice, mentoring. I'm able to call one of the Motown alumni and ask them, what did Berry Gordy do? What was it like back in the day? And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, and speaking of your father's legacy, the great Johnny Griffith, Funk Brother, a jazz artist with Motown. Speaking of the legacy, you are his seed. You're his sperm. I mean, it is what it is. And so tell us how your dad had a lot to do with who you are today as this awesome songstress from the city of Detroit.
You know, okay, so this is the funny part. My daddy didn't want me doing this. My mama didn't want me doing this. And so that's where, you know, the natural progression of life, or whatever you're going to end up doing, you're going to do what's naturally in you if you go with the flow. Now, some people have natural gifts and talents and they don't do it. But my dad and my mom did not want me in the business. And there, are stories of how things didn't necessarily go favorable for some artists or the musicians at Motown. The Funk Brothers were kind of referred to as unsung because they played on everything. They created this incredible music, but they were never really talked about until later on. And it was all about whoever was singing the song. So because of some of the recognition and money that wasn't given or received, or however that was, my dad didn't want me in the business. And you know this as well. The entertainment business is not what people think it is. They see the lights, they see the fancy clothes, and they see people screaming and calling your name, but they don't understand the work that you put in behind the scenes. And sometimes your work is not acknowledged and you're unsung. So my dad didn't want me to do that. And I was encouraged and pushed to go to school, get my degree, and to find something else to do. And I did that. But the music was something that always pulled at my heartstring. And so I did what my parents wanted me to do. I went to college, I got my degree, I got a job, I worked at Ford Motor Company. I was a substitute teacher in school. I was trying to let me find something that's respectable to do. And I hated it. So, on the weekends, I was in the club with the mic. So, I had a band and I was gigging and I enjoyed that. And that's really what my passion and my heart was. And so, they didn't want me to do it, but I did what was natural for me to do. And I love it, even with good and the bad that comes from the push and trusting the process of what I want to do. So,
mm-hmm. Did Motown
ever? I can't say he influenced me to do this. He did because it's a natural thing. But for him to sit me down and say, "No, this is how you hold a mic, and this is what," no, he didn't do none of that.
So did Motown, did they ever corral or ever around you to make you an artist that they wanted to put support behind and push you into a singing career? Did that ever happen?
No, but yes. And I have a friend now that tells me it's either yes or no. It can't be no and yes. So the answer is when they found out about me. So the answer would be yes. I'll say that. When they found out about me, because they didn't know me, there is a lady here, Pat Cosby. She was the record keeper for Motown. She kept the records for everybody who went in and out of the studio, all the sessions, everything. And she did bookkeeping and things like that. Her husband was Hank Cosby, the late Hank Cosby. And he was the session leader. He would go out and scout and get musicians to come in and to play on the different records. And they had a son named William. William and I met many years ago. I was singing in a girl group and he was an up and coming writer and producer. And we ended up meeting just by happenstance. I mean, seriously. And we started talking and he was like, "Yeah, my daddy works for Motown." And I was like, "My daddy worked for Motown." And he was like, "What's your daddy name?" I was like, "What's your," seriously, it was that crazy. And he went home and told his dad. I went home and told my dad. And they were like, "Oh my God, I haven't talked to him in years." And the crazy thing is they both died the same year, both of our fathers.
Wow.
Same year. William and I kept in touch. He introduced me to his mom. His mom was affiliated with the Hal Awards in LA. And that's how I got, I guess, embraced by Motown. Not the new Motown now, but the nostalgic Motown that we know. And those people. And so that's when I said they bring me out to LA every year to perform. And they really have worked with me and supported me, putting me in front of amazing artists to see me perform and allowing me to grow as an artist and be able to perform in front of people. That, you don't ever just wake up and you are an amazing performer. There's training, there's teaching, there's mentoring, there's mistakes, there's, all of that comes with it. So they've been working, they have supported me a great deal. If I were to go out to LA now and do an event, it would be full of Motown alumni there to support me.
Wow. That
Yeah.
that's a beautiful relationship that you
It is.
have with Motown. You know, your father being a part of that group, and you're his daughter, and you're just like he's not here, but he's still here through you, and
Right.
that's how that works,
Sitting
and
on
that's
my
that's
shoulder.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's right on your shoulder. That's right. So I want to talk about your relationship with different folk. Now,
Okay.
a lot of people say that you have a sound like my baby Anita Baker, and I listen. Caught up in the rapture. I don't know if your voice has been bad for the last couple of days. You've been taking little laundresses or drinking some hot tea, but before this show is over, you're gonna have to give me some of that rapture because hey, that's my song. That's my
Wait.
girl. But
Okay.
you don't like what? That's not your favorite song to sing?
You know what? I love a lot of different songs, but I think my favorite stuff now to sing is my stuff.
I know it. I
And
know it. I'm just
that's
messing
just,
with it.
you know.
I'm just saying, Anita Baker is my baby. When they say you sound like Anita, I'm like, yes. And I love to see them in concert together. And did you ever open for Anita?
No, but I was her background singer for 5 years.
Right. Exactly. I want to see you open for Anita. I want to
And
see her open for
but I'm
you.
gonna tell you something, Reggie. She never had an opening act in all the years that we toured. She never had an opening act except for one time. And that one time is we were flying to Chicago in the wintertime. And everybody knows how the airport and they canceling flights. We were late coming in on a flight and they hired a comedian to warm the crowd. It was not another singer. And that was
Wow.
one time in 5 years. She did not. I don't know what she does not. She did not have openers ever.
Mm. Now, I met Anita. I don't really know her. How is she as a person, and what is Anita Baker like?
She is one of the most important people in my life that has shaped and molded me. So Beth is who she is today because I was blessed enough to spend enough time with her to learn and to grow. She is one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. She is one of the most precise people I've ever met in my life. She's one of the most particular people I've met in my life. She is a person who knows what they want and they know how to articulate to get it. And because I was able to watch her be a strong Black woman in the entertainment business, there people have told me that I remind them of her. And it's not just the short hair. It's just when you're around a person a lot, you start to pick up some of their tendencies and you may not even realize it. So, depending on what day you catch her, you may get a different Anita. I'll say that because sometimes she's so focused that she's not into being um friendly with her fans. She's focused on her work. And then some days she's putting the work down and she's friendly with her fans. So it just depends on what
Right.
you the day.
Right. Yeah, I
I
get it.
those, you know.
When they say you have a sound like Anita Baker and a sound like Mary J. Blige or somewhere in the middle, how do you take that? Because Mary J. Blige, she's got that little more raspy kind of
Mhm,
bottom to
mhm,
her voice,
mhm.
her vocal. So that must say that you have a wide range. I don't know the terminology how you guys
Yeah,
say address that, but so
yeah.
you have a wide range. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, and I take that as a compliment because those two women are iconic in the business. They're iconic in music. They have shaped music. I remember when Mary J first came out and we were all like, who is this? Um, I anybody who has achieved what I aspire to achieve and I am referenced with them, it's a compliment to me.
That's a beautiful thing. And again, I'm so happy that we have folk like you that come out of Detroit. You know, I can see you when I saw you on TV. I couldn't believe it. I didn't. You told people, and the word was out, but I think I was out of town or something, and missed it. But then I came back home and I saw you. I turned the TV on and saw you on season 16 of NBC's The Voice, and you damn near won a thing. How did that go? How was that experience for you on The Voice?
Ooh. It was a lot, Reggie. It was a lot. I enjoyed being put in a situation where I could focus on music all day, every day. When you become an adult and you got bills and you got life and you got family, you have to strategize when you have time to rehearse. You have to figure it out when you're gonna cook dinner, when you're gonna do laundry, when you're gonna do all this different stuff. And so that was a time for me that was great because I was able to just be an artist 100%. I was able to learn and grow. I was able to go to rehearsals and it was just fun. It was a lot of fun. Um, it was nerve wracking because you saw people eliminated every day and you never knew
Yeah.
who were next. But, you know, still fun. I learned a lot and I'm a better artist because of that show.
How far did you actually go on the show? I know you almost won, but how far?
And I didn't go that far. I made it to probably the top 30. That's it.
The top 30. I thought you were at the.
They got rid of me quick.
Really? I didn't know. I thought you almost won the doggone thing.
It's okay. I was on television. You know, what happened was they had episodes where I didn't sing, but you would see me on TV. And they changed some of the rounds for the one season that I was on, and it didn't work out. And then they went back to the old way they were doing it. And I hate that. And that probably caused me to be eliminated sooner, you know, but the bottom line is I made it on television and I made it for multiple episodes and it changed my life. So I'm grateful for that. It wasn't meant for me to win the show. And a lot of times when you win those shows, that's not the best thing because you're hung up in a contract. And the fact that I was already putting music out and had music waiting to put out, that would have, if I would have won, yes, I would have won $100,000 and all that kind of stuff. But I would not have been able to put music out for a long time, not unless they cleared it and they okayed it. So I was able to go back to what I had already been doing and just take the momentum from coming off of a television show and coming off of YouTube views of over 1 million. You know, stuff like that is very valuable for indie artists. So, you know.
So on that show, The Voice on NBC, you've got the host, you know, Kelly Clarkson, Adam Levine, that's my dog, and Blake Shelton, my man. But my twin, John Legend, people used to say that. Look, back in the day, this is back in the day. Now I got little grades and stuff, but back in the day when John Legend first came out, I interviewed him on the radio, and everybody was always saying that's your twin, y'all look just like. And when he came to the station, I said, man, everybody keeps saying that I look just like you look just like we twins. Everybody got a twin, you my twin. And me and John looked right at each other and looked up and down and was like, no, I don't look like you. But I wanted to ask you, what was your experience like? Did you get a chance to actually to talk to John Legend or any of the judges, and how was that interaction with John Legend?
Let me tell you, John Legend is one of the nicest artists I've ever met. He was very hands-on because first Kelly Clarkson was my coach first, and then I got stolen by John. So Kelly was great, John was great, but the advice that he gave me in terms of how to approach a song, how to feel on stage, how to process telling the story that you're telling, because singers are storytellers. So a lot of times, you know, singers get caught up in everything but telling the story. You know, they get caught up in trying to do the dance routine, or they get caught up in what they look like. And you have to always remember, you are a poet, you are a storyteller, and you're telling that through song. So those were some of the things that John and I talked about, and he broke it down for me. And I take that with me now. Every time I perform, I get in the proper headspace so that I can tell the story to the audience. And I love that. And I'll cherish that from him. You know, I love it.
Yeah, I want to share this with you. I'm gonna ask you a question to see if you can guess. I'm gonna see if you can guess this. Okay, of course I like R&B and hip hop for sure, especially old school R&B. The Spinners, one of my favorite group of all time. Oh yeah, the Spinners all day. Felipe Win, come on now.
Could it be I'm
falling in love with you? With you. I can't sing. You guys won't mess me up. Anyway, that's my favorite group, and I love the 70s R&B. That's my favorite music. But there's another genre of music that I love, and I don't think you can guess it. You got to get it. You got one time to guess it. Right. Go ahead.
Country.
And see, you only said that because everybody on that show are country singers, or because I sound like Blake Shelton. That's why you said that. Yeah, country music.
But it had to be something out the box. So that's why I was like, it's either you're gonna say opera or country, something that nobody would think you know. So yeah.
Let me tell you something, Beth. Randy Travis, I was his biggest fan in the early to mid '90s. Randy Travis, loved his. Oh yes, I was a country music. The Judds. Listen, and I never made a big stink about it, but I actually had a chance to work at a country station for a short period of time. I love country music. I did alternative, besides hip hop and R&B. I did alternative rock and country music radio. So I like country. So can you do the country thing?
No, but I like country, and really many years ago, I was thinking there are no Black female country artists that are out. And they're actually at the time, or that we knew about, but it's an emerging thing now. There's I don't even know her name, but I saw her maybe on the CMAs or something. She's a Black country singer. She's out now. So there are Black country singers that are emerging, and it's a thing now. So you're not alone. So
thank God.
It's a thing.
I just love country music, and it's our version of country. Of course, is blues. I love blues as well. JJ Blackfoot, I love blues. Johnny Guitar Watson, I love blues. But it's something about country. I guess that's the white man's version of country music.
But I love the story. I love the storytelling that country music. You can sit down and listen to a country song, and he's telling you how he got up this morning, he poured his cup of coffee, and the dog was on the porch, and this girl left, but then she came back, and she fried chicken for dinner, and they had a happily. The rest of the evening was happy. They tell
and he had a nice tall glass of whiskey.
And a glass of whiskey, right? We can't forget to drink. So that's the cool thing about country. They tell a story. It's a story. And you're always entertained. So I get why you like the country. And I like country as well,
But of course our favorite is true and dear to us just by nature is R&B for certain. And through that genre of music, you Beth Griffith-Manley, what is it that you were a Grammy nominee, and before I mess it up, you tell us that story. How did you make it as a Grammy nominee? Tell us that story.
Listen, I'm still trying to figure it out. So I did a collab. Well, okay, no, it started like this. I'm trying to think of how it even happened. I put out a song in 2020 called "You've Already Won," and that song was just to encourage, to uplift people, and it was actually my feelings and my thoughts about the process of me going through The Voice. So that's how that song came about. We were launching that song, we were releasing the song, and we did it online because by the time we started launching and releasing, the pandemic was full-fledged at that time. So there was a young man that did the hosting on my online release, and his name is Niles. I had never met him, but he had heard the song. He went back and listened to my music, and he said he liked my voice. Couple months later, he reached back out to me and said, I have a friend who's a Grammy nominee, trumpet player, jazz artist named Nabate Isles. And we have a song that we're doing together, a collaboration, and we need someone to sing on it. And I really like your voice. Would you sing on this song? It's called Superhero, and it's a tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman. I said, sure, I'll sing on it, And I went into the studio here, because Nabate lives in New York. Chadwick, Niles, I'm getting their name, because his real name is actually Chadwick as well, like Chadwick Boseman, but everybody calls him Niles. So Niles lives in Minnesota. I'd never met these guys face to face. They want me to do this collab. I do the collab. We put it out for the late Chadwick Boseman to honor him. Next thing I know, a couple months go by, and they tell me the song is nominated for a Grammy in 4 different categories. And the crazy thing is I still, to this day, have not met these 2 guys in person. So it's a collab that we did. They heard my singing and they liked it. I'm grateful. We were nominated for Song of the Year, Best Rap. It was 2 other. I have to look it up what it was, but I will say, out of the almost 25,000 entries to the Grammy Association for consideration. To make it in 4 categories was amazing, and I am honored and I'm grateful, and can't nobody take that away. And it was amazing to vote because I'm part of the Grammy Association, so I was able to go online and vote. And to see my name, I could just type my name in the search bar and the song would come up. And I just took pictures of it. I was like, oh my God, like my name is in the system. So it was crazy.
What the hell is wrong with y'all? Put y'all hands together for Grammy nominee Beth Griffith-Manley. Congratulations, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now we want to talk about your music. Okay, Celebrate. You got a lot of your songs. My favorite, I think, is Love Hurts. I love that song.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have it today, but we'll get you another show. We will play it for you. Celebrate. Talk about that song, and we want to play it. Beautiful song.
Okay, Celebrate. This is a time of celebration. You know, we're coming out of a very dark, daunting, still don't know what's going on kind of thing, you know, with this pandemic. And but people are coming outside and people are starting to gather again. And some people hadn't seen their family members in a year or two. And so now we're at a time where it's a celebratory time, and where people are able to gather. And my producer and my MD, he's a great writer and producer, Marcus Devine. We got together and I was like, I just want to do something happy and upbeat and encourage people to get together and to love on one another and to not allow this situation that we're in and that we're trying to get through to really just take over and allow us not to have some joy in our lives. So that is what Celebrate is about. Want everybody to be happy and to love on each other.
Beautiful, beautiful message in the music. Let's check it out, y'all. This is Beth Griffith-Manley, Detroit's own.
I dream of this moment each year. I smile ear to ear, thinking of you. Seems like it took so long to get here. You can feel that it's near. We got so much to do. Loving and laughing, cooking and rapping, time with the family. It's gonna be great. Celebrate this time of the year. Don't hesitate. Spread love, joy, and good cheer. Come on, everybody. Celebrate. The fragrance of the seasons in the air. Decorations everywhere. Can't forget the mistletoe. Peace on earth and goodwill to all men. Let the festivities begin. Time to get up and go, 'cause we'll be loving and laughing, cooking and rapping, time with the family. It's gonna be great. Celebrate, come on, celebrate now. Celebrate this time of the year. Ooh, don't you hesitate. Don't hesitate to spread it. Love, joy, and good cheer. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Celebrate. Oh, the sound of laughter. Children outside playing while they're building a snowman. Oh, how I love to see all the snow falling. It's a winter wonderland. Celebrate. Celebrate. Come on, everybody. Don't hesitate. Spread love, joy, and good cheer. Come on, celebrate. Come on, it's a party. Come on, everybody. It's the perfect time of year. Don't hesitate to celebrate. Spread love,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And every year that we are with our family during the holidays, right before, after we play this Christmas, we need to play every year. We need to play that Celebrate, because that's a beautiful song about the family coming together during the holidays, and just the whole chorus all together. Celebrate is more than just the holiday season. You want to celebrate with your family all the time. So that's like a family theme song. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. You got to celebrate life. We have all been through seeing how precious life is and how quickly it can be taken away. And so we need to celebrate every moment we get.
Absolutely. You said it best, Beth. And I want to go back to back on your music, because I want to ask you a big question after we hear all of this awesome music. So in 2017, Free. Let's talk about it. Free. What's up with Free, Beth?
That's one of my favorite songs, actually, and people really love this song. That song was on my first album, and it was just me writing about how I felt during the transition of coming from being a background singer to a lead singer. So I've been doing background for so long. I had been backgrounding for Anita for 5 years. I had been backgrounding with Kim for probably about 5 years at that time, 5 or 6, because I've been with Kim about 9 years now. So it was like, what do you want to do for yourself? Because as a background singer, when the artist takes a break or they go on vacation, the shows stop. And then what do you do as an artist? You sitting around like, okay, waiting on them to come back. And I was like, I have to be in control of what I do and set something up for Beth so she can continue to work whatever she wants to. So I made the decision to be a solo artist. And that song, I just wrote about it, what came out my heart. Because I was afraid to do it. So.
And I want to say this, Kim, that's my dog. Kim was my man. I remember when Kim was actually homeless, and I used to bump into him on the streets, and he used to tell me stories all the time. And then he became this big artist. I knew he was talented then, but I didn't know he was going to turn out to be the amazing artist that he is today. And yeah. I ain't got to ask you about Kim. That's my brother right there. Yeah, good brother, very good brother.
Incredible. He's incredible. Solid. It's been great working with him and watching him grow. The years that I've been with him, I've been able to watch him just excel, and it's been amazing to watch that, and encouraging, because I know if he can do it, I can do it.
Oh yeah, love me some Kim. What's up, Kim? If you checking us out, man, come on by the studio. We got to get you next, man. That's my dog. So let's check out Free. And I want to say this to you, Beth. Of course, love your voice, always have. But on this, something about this music, the way it was arranged and produced. Who produced this song again, Free?
The Free is produced by Cordell Walton, and Cordell is Charlie Wilson's MD. He's been his MD for many years. And Cordell, he's from Detroit. Yeah.
He put this thing down. Y'all check this out. This is Free, y'all. Beth Griffith-Manley. Check it out.
Every day I look in the mirror looking back at me. Ooh, I say a girl so full of life, she just wants to be happy. Ooh, I've been through some things, been through the storm and rain, and I know I just gotta release it. Ooh, time can heal a wound, time can heal the pain, but will I be whole again? I just wanna be free. Free, let it go and be free. I wanna be free. Free, free, let it go and be free. I've been through some things, now it's gonna change. No more crying as of today. Gotta let it go. Free, free, let it go and be free. I made mistakes before, pushed and pulled on so many doors, but I never gave up on me. Learned how to guard my heart, love and still think smart, cause hurt you can't foresee. Now I know I'll go on and be okay. Oh, days, part of my history. I can't be stuck in yesterday. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Oh, let it go and be free. I've been through some things, now it's gonna change. No more crying as of today. I'm letting it go, don't wanna hold on no more. Free, I'm free, I wanna be free. I'm captured no more. I want my dreams that were stolen and washed away, but never showed up on this show. I'm breaking the bondage that was built here. I'm moving on, create a new life and show the world a new me, a stronger me. Heard your time expired a long time ago. It's time for me to walk away. Oh, I am free. No more suffering, no more bad memories. From this point on, it's part of my history. I am I gotta be free, wanna be free, yeah, yeah.
Loving it. That's Beth Griffith-Manley, y'all, up in here, and she's a beautiful person. She's got beautiful music. That music, listen, the way that he arranged that, I was like, that music is so powerful. Put your beautiful voice with that. That's a winner right there for real, Beth. I love that one.
Cordell is I am so blessed that the producers that I work with are incredible. You know, Cordell stays on the road with Charlie Wilson, my MD, and my other producer that actually did Celebrate and did Love Hurts that you love. He was an MD on the Millennial Tour. You know, he's did an MDing for Ashanti and Lloyd, and he's always on the road. So I have some great musicians, great producers, great MDs that I work with that produce my music. I'm really blessed.
Yeah, that's definitely a true blessing. For those of you who are just joining us, you're listening to ReggieRegRadio.com, and this is Reggie's World, the podcast, and I'm joined by Sister Beth Griffith-Manley. She is an R&B songstress out of the city of Detroit. She's the daughter of Motown legend Johnny Griffith, and she did background vocals for Anita Baker. Currently, she does background for Kim, and she's doing her own thing. Really, she's doing her own thing. That's what we really got to talk about, because free, that's what it's all about. Now, one of my favorite songs is Love Hurts, and I don't have that today, but if you don't mind, I don't know how your voice has been hoarse a little while ago or whatever, but can we just get the chorus to Love Hurts? Because that's really my favorite song, Love Hurts.
Oh, okay. You know, you got to think about it. Tell me, why does loving you hurt so much, so much, so much? And through all this pain, I still long for your touch. Tell me, why does love hurt?
Yeah, that's my song. And next time we get you, listen, we got to get that. Bring that with you next time, okay? We get to the studio and everything. That's my favorite, Love Hurts. And so when you do your singing and you do background for folk, which is a lot of people do. Luther Vandross did background vocals. What was the group he did background vocals for?
Change. Was
Change, yeah, change. And then
Okay.
he went out, and he was powerful background. I don't know what took them so long to put him up front. So that's how it happens. It's just like just the way things go. Yolanda Adams,
Mhm.
what is your connection with the gospel songstress Yolanda Adams?
Okay, so out of Detroit, the great producer Michael Powell, who founded Chapter,
Yeah,
which discovered Anita
chapter 8.
Baker,
Yep,
which is
chapter
how,
8. Yep.
yeah, which is how I got with Anita. Mike Powell did great production on Yolanda Adams' Christmas album. And I think she just did one. And he brought me in to do background on 5 songs for her. And then I demoed the 5 songs for her, which was amazing. She never called. But I got a chance to do the background on the record, and it was really, really cool. Yeah.
Wow. And so, but did you meet her? Did you talk to Yolanda? I
No,
love you.
one of those things where Mike produced the tracks here in Detroit, and I went in the studio, did the backgrounds for him, and he sent them wherever she was, and then she put her vocals on and put it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look up the credits on the album, you'll see my name, but I never met her.
Wow. So one thing that I was thinking when we were playing Free, I don't know, it just hit me as the song was playing.
Uh-huh.
I started to think about another one of my favorite artists, a female R&B vocalist who I actually had the chance to meet when I worked. And you're going to guess this because I think you follow me where I'm going and you're going to know what I'm talking about. So I met this. She's a sister, a black woman, R&B.
Uh-huh.
I was in North Carolina in Greensboro, which is a part of what they call the Triad: Winston-Salem,
Yeah.
Greensboro, and High Point.
Okay.
And I when I was there, I did radio, I did afternoons at 97.1 WQMG, Shilling Cole, program director. And
Okay.
I was out one day and I ran into a sister from High Point.
North Carolina.
Yep, North Carolina High Point. That's your clue. A sister. She's a little younger. I think she may be younger than us.
I don't know who you talking about.
High Point, North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina. I'll give you another clue. Okay, hold on. You don't know what I'm talking about. Hang on. She's a sister, R&B from North Carolina, High Point, and her cousins were big time in the 90s.
Oh, wait, don't tell me.
Fantasia Barrino, yeah.
Okay.
So when she did her thing.
I didn't remember where she was from, but when you said her cousins, I'm like Jodeci.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Jodeci. And when she did her thing on American Idol, she was on American Idol, and that rocked me. And then, me and KC would kind of, over the years in radio, he and I had, literally, he and I used to fight. We cool about it. We said that when I see him today, we laugh about it. But literally, me and KC would have a big battle. When I was in Flint, LA, Detroit, and I'm doing radio, I'd come to the concert with a pretty sister, like my dates, just fine as all get out. And he would try to see if he could come and take her from me. And then no, I'm serious. And then we battle. And then one time in Flint, he had a female with him, and I took her from him. So we would always. So me and Casey, to this day, we laugh about that. We see each other. So I know his cousin is Angie Barrino, who lives in Southfield, Michigan. Angela Barrino. She sings somewhat, but she's not at that level. But
what? Do we know her?
Angie Barrino.
Her name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's from Detroit. That's their first cousin. That's Casey and JoJo's first cousin. And Fantasia. Her dad their father, that whole family sings because Angie Barrino's daddy he sang with somebody. It wasn't it was, I can't remember, but they're all singers, the whole entire family. And they're from North Carolina.
I'm like, yeah, she's somebody I knew back in the day or went to school with or something. Her name sounds familiar. So
yeah, Angie Barrino, little sweet pie. And yeah, and so Fantasia, when that song was playing, this is my point, when Free was playing, in my mind, I was at a concert watching you and Fantasia Barrino, and I had a good time. I was crying and laughing and dancing and just having a good time.
Well, you speak that thing
into existence, right?
Speak
Right. So now before we close, Sister Beth, I want to get out of you something away from the studio, away from the microphone, away from entertainment. I want to talk something I want to talk to you about something related to just life,
Okay.
as we deal with it as Black people in this country. Especially the Black man, and what we're faced with. We already have the shortest lifespan. And it just seems, if you look at situations in just about any type of way, it seems that society is set up for us as Black people, but really black men to fail. And I wanted to get some insight from you on your feelings about gun violence in cities like Detroit, urban American cities like Detroit and Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, and you know what, it goes on, Houston, and it goes on and on. I lost my baby brother, Vito Davis, to gun violence. As you know, 19-year-old brother went to Denby High School, was doing all the good things, and 5 young boys took his life. And I want to ask you, Beth Griffith-Manley, as a Detroiter, as a songstress from Detroit, you see it every day, just like we all do. 2, 4, and 7, the local news channels, 2, 4, and 7. When we watch them every day, we can't watch it before we see Pookie shooting, killing Ray Ray over some glasses, or he stepped on his shoe. He stepped on his shoe and he killed his best friend. So how does Beth Griffith-Manley feel about the ongoing senseless gun violence in cities, urban American cities like Detroit and Chicago and St. Louis and Baltimore?
I think it's disgusting, actually, that these people feel like lives are not valuable enough and that things and material is more important. And that starts at a very early age, and it starts at how you're reared at home. It's very sad when you look at parents grieving on television because they've lost their child to something senseless. And it's also just as sad when you find out who pulled the trigger was a child who obviously has not been reared in the proper manner, and feels as if to resolve issues and conflicts, you need to fight or you need to kill or you need to injure. It's very, very sad. And it's disgusting, actually, because you see 2 families that are destroyed, you see lives that are lost, and everybody is not mentally capable of handling loss and devastation like that. Some people don't bounce back from that. I just really wish that there were stricter gun laws. I understand that people have a right to carry firearms, but I just think that in order to do that, you really need to be tested, mentally checked. You have to have a reason. You can't just buy a gun because you want to buy a gun and you've taken shooting lessons. That's not enough, because we know it's very obvious that there is a tremendous amount of mental illness in the world, and everybody does not know how to handle their anger and their conflict. And I just think that parents need to start at an early age teaching their kids about how to handle anger, how to handle bullying, how to handle when somebody's mistreating you, all of those things. These are things that need to be taught in school. It's we could go on and on about how it starts and how we could possibly end it, but it just seems as if it's one of these things where it's a tragedy when it happens, and then it kind of gets brushed under the rug until the next tragedy, and that's what I don't like.
Great answer, Beth. I really like that. I love to hear you speak that way, because you had me about this. I was, she's so, oh my God, I'm so tired of this shit. But yeah, that was
and I'm not trying to do a shameless plug, but I wrote a children's book about anti-bullying and children being mistreated, because I think at an early age, Reggie, when we was in school, it was a little different. When somebody messed with you in school, we were taught, if they hit you first, hit them back, right? But we didn't really bully that much in school, and bullying kind of started, but we weren't taught to not deal with it. We were taught to tell a teacher, and it was dealt with. Now kids don't say anything, and they get teased and they get bullied, and they don't know how to process what's happening to them. and then they're just, a hot pot waiting to boil over. And then this kid gets a gun and then they go shooting. I wrote a book for children, probably first to third grade, to just kind of teach them about when somebody teases you and somebody mistreats you, you stay away from that person. You don't interact with them. You go tell an adult and you go do something about it. It's just really a sad place when kids are developing at a young age and they don't know how to handle conflict. We have to teach them when they're very, very young.
That's right. That's right, Sister Beth. And we've come upon that hour. That fast, we're at the hour. So we got to get you back. And I just want to say this: you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna be standing with you when you get your star on the Walk of Fame. I mean that.
Thank you. I received that.
Y'all put y'all hands together for this sister right here, Beth Griffith-Manley. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, and real quick, before we close, how can we get in touch with you? We want to talk to you. We're your fans. We want to write you. Want to see what you're doing on social media. How do we do that?
Okay, you can go to my website, which is Beth Always Sings. You can stream the music. You can buy my book. And you can check out where my next performance dates are, everything that I'm doing. You can hit me up on Instagram, Beth Always Sings. And you can hit me up on Twitter, Beth Always Sings. And you can go like my Facebook page, Beth with the blue check.
Beth Always Sings. My girl.
And Baker gave me that name.
Anita Baker?
She would always say, you always sing. And she was like, she would see me and she'd be like, Beth Always Sings. Beth Always Sings. And I was like, So that just kind of stuck. And so those are my social media handles and my website now.
I like that. Beth Always Sings. Okay. Well, you be blessed and we will talk again, my sister. All right.
Thank you, Reggie, so much for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you again. And thank you for hanging out with us today, cousin. We'll talk to you again on the next episode of Reggie's World. Until then, until we talk again on the next episode of Reggie's World, you know what I want you to do, cousin? I want you to be blessed.